What's up everyone, this is Marky2200 here and welcome back to my Need for Speed testing series, where today I'll be ranking all the rear-wheel drive sports cars in Need for Speed Pro Street from worst to best based on their drag capabilities. As usual, all the cars have been upgraded with stage 3 performance and handling packages, with the suspension being reduced to either stage 1 or stage 2 whenever possible. Whether a specific car needed stage 1 or stage 2 suspension is all in the description down below, as well as their tuning, suspension tuning and drivetrain tuning. It's all in the description down below. With that said, let's see which of the rear-wheel drive sports cars is the worst for drag racing. And at number 19 we have the Toyota Corolla. If you think about it, it's not much of a surprise that the Toyota Corolla is the worst for drag racing. Unlike for grip racing, the indicated horsepower feels accurate for drag racing. The grip is there, but it just doesn't have a lot of power. At number 18 we have the Honda S2000 with a worse quarter mile time than the Toyota Corolla, but a better half mile time than the Toyota Corolla. In the end, it doesn't really make a huge difference. It has low power and a speed limit of 354 km/h, and that results in a bad drag car. Then at number 17 we have the Aston Martin DB9 with overall the worst quarter mile time of 7.98 but a half mile of 12.07. I wish this car had stage 1 suspension, because with stage 2 suspension, as you're seeing, it wheelies, and that is something you just do not want with drag cars. You do want it in with wheelie cars, but not with drag cars. It's basically the same story with the SL65, because you can only pick between stock and stage 3 suspension. It's quite funny that the game sees this as a supercar, because you can only pick stage 3 suspension or stock. Neither are a good choice, but at least it doesn't have a speed limit like most DLC cars. Those were all the, I would say, the terrible drag cars. Now moving into number 15, I would say these are good drag cars. I would say anything that is in the 17 range, in the 17 second total time, is a good drag car. I would say anything above 18.5 seconds, I wouldn't even bother. At number 14 we have the Mazda RX-7, which is a good overall car, but it's just missing some low end power. Basically meaning that, yeah, you do want to NOS in the higher gears. And that's something that I want to talk about as well, because overall I find that NOSing and gearing is, you want to do one of three things. So the first thing that I have actually found to be most successful with most cars is going from first to second and then immediately to fifth, and when you shift to fifth you NOS immediately, and that's what you're seeing with the Z4. It is something that has been successful with most of the cars. The next thing that you can do, if the car is better doing that, is go from first, second, third and then to fourth, shift at fourth and then to proceed like normal. And the next thing is, that's something that doesn't really happen often. Basically it happens with like the high-end classic muscle cars, is go from first then either to fifth or sixth, and once you go from first to fifth, you NOS at fifth. So that is another thing you can do. However, with these rear-wheel drive sports cars, that didn't happen. It usually is either from first to second to fifth and then NOS at fifth, or from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and like normal basically, and then NOS at fourth. However, just like what I said, even with the M3 E92, first, second, fifth, NOS at fifth, then to sixth is something that again works wonders. We're already at number 9. At number 10 we had the E92, which is a great overall drag cars for racing. At number 9 we have the 240SX, which I was pleasantly surprised how good this car is for drag racing, given the low power it had for grip races. While not amazing, it is a great drag car, and as you can see we've already cracked the 16-second mark in the total time, and I would say any car that achieved the high 16s, I would say 16.99 to 16.5, are great drag cars. At number 8 we have the G35, which is very similar to the IS350 but overall better. It's alright, very good car, but it's just lacking some top end power. At number 7 we have the RX-8, which It is great. It's the first car in the list that cracked the 10 second, well, the sub 10 second half mile, but it has wheel spin off the line, and that pretty much keeps it from being top tier. Still an amazing car though. At number 6 we have the Solstice, and the Solstice is the first car that cracked the 15 second total time mark. All of the cars in the 15 second mark are amazing, and they are instantly worth taking. The Solstice being a solid car wasn't really something that I expected. Number 5, top 5, Cayman. I mean, it's another great choice overall. It does have an odd drivetrain tune, where the gears are tuned longer the higher you go, which normally you do the opposite. But as you can see the result, I mean, a 6.17 quarter mile is just genuinely amazing. At number 4 we have the Elise, which is something I didn't expect to be here. But it's lightweight, and that pretty much makes it a top tier drag car. Quarter mile of 6.10 and a half mile of 9.76, which basically means it's an amazing car. At number 3 we have the Acura NSX, which had a total time of 15.80. I mean, actually, if you think about it, number 6 to number 3 are actually very close to each other. I mean, the Solstice had a total time of 15.98, and then here at number 3 the NSX did a 15.80. Very surprising. But what's more surprising is at number 2 it is the Nissan 350Z. It's the first car in the list that achieved the 5 second quarter mile time. I mean, a total time of 15.55, quarter mile 5.97, half mile of 9.58. It's a phenomenal car. Instant grip off the line, great power, great gearbox. However, at number 1, I mean, was it really a surprise? We have the Toyota Supra with a total time of 15.07, so it just missed out on the 14 second mark. It has a quarter mile time of 5.75 and a half mile of 9.32. As expected, this car is the best rear-wheel drive sports car for drag racing, but it didn't dominate as much as I thought. That's not to downplay the Supra, that's more to praise the 350Z, because that did a 5.97, that's about 2/10 slower, and that is something that I genuinely did not expect. But hey, kudos to the Supra, but it was pretty much expected. And those were all the rear-wheel drive sports cars in Need for Speed Pro from worst to best based on their drag capabilities, with the Supra unsurprisingly being the best of the best. If you've liked this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you wish to stay updated on all my future videos and streams, consider subscribing. The next testing video will be all the rear-wheel drive sport cars ranked from worst to best based on their wheelie capabilities. That's then. For now, this has been Marky 2200. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you very soon. Take care.